Hey crafters, it's me Jen Evers with Quality Crafts, and welcome to another Free Play Friday. This is like my first totally free Play Friday. I don't have to worry about anything. It's so fun. Summer has begun, and we're going to make this really cool explosion box. So there's going to be just a little bit of a lag while people jump in here. I'm going to go over a few of the things that you need to make this. And just as a reminder before we get started, this is a sale weekend. So after I show you how to make this cool box, there'll be a patron-only sale from 6 to 7. And then tomorrow from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m., there will be a public sale. It's called a Crafty Online Garage Sale because there'll be name brand and used stuff, garage sale, kind of style. And there's always different inventory. So every other week, if you come in, it may be something different. Sometimes I have some things that kind of stay around, but it always kind of just jumps around a bit. So I invite you to come to all of them. Hey, Jill Lucas. I'm just going to extend some of this so that I can see more of what's going on. Kathy Godwin, hello. So this is the box we're making today. It's the explosion box. And I'm doing a very simple form of it so that you don't have to worry about a lot of different kind of, hey, Pam. And a lot of different, measurements and things. I don't want you to boggle yourself with that. I did a little, 3D box on the middle of mine. That was a little tricky to get it to glue down. I know some people glue the edges, but I just didn't want it to have, just on the edges. But I'll show you that in just a moment. Basically, what you want to have to get this whole thing started is just, hey, Debbie Evans, Stamp Girl, Melanie, Monica, Pam, hello. Is 3 pieces of 12 by 12 cardstock in any color that you want. Hi, Rashonda. So I started out mine with the base of 3 white pieces. You can do black. You can do whatever colors you have. I just happen to have a lot of white on hand, so that's what I'm going to do. And I didn't finish gluing this one together because I want to show you a little bit of how this is going to come together so you have it in your head before we start doing this. Allie Butler, hello, welcome. Hi, Sadira. So here are the 3 layers. This is the outside layer. This is the 12 by 12, and we're scoring it at 4 by 4. And all I did was take my pieces that were here, instead of cutting them off, I folded them over and I made pockets. So you can do that with any of your layers if you want to put pockets in there. All you do is save the corner from the upper layer to make your slide-ins from, and that's where these came from. So my back is white, and then I adhered it to another color so that it would stand out a little bit more. Hi, Glenda, welcome. The West Loopers, welcome. So then the next one, I believe this was 11. Did I go halvesies or did I? Yeah, so like a 1/2 inch on each side. So basically what I did was I cut it down by 1 inch. So 12 by 12, 11 by 11, 10 by 10. We have, let me get this one out. So it's going to be really easy to put together. Here's the 12 by 12. My whole ruler is 12, obviously. The next layer should be 11. Very, very close. 11, and then the last one should be about 10. Super close. I'm always off by 1/16 of an inch on occasion. I don't know why. Maybe it just is my trimmer. But as long as it all matches up and that all your sides come up together like this, that's all you really need to worry about. So that's how mine come up. I will show you how to make the cover. Super simple. This one I made a little bit bigger. It comes off super easy, but it's not going to bend in or bow any of the sides of your box. This one I made the exact size of the box, which means it'll fit super snug and it won't fall off. However, it is snug. So I'm going to see if I can get this on smooth for you in the camera. So it fits super snug, and the problem with that is that it bows the sides in just a little. See that? Where it's bowing them in. But if you want one to stay snug, you can do it the exact size. All you're going to do is take whatever size your box is. In my case, it's 4 by 4. And you're going to make it an extra inch on either side. So instead of 4, it's going to be 6, because then you're going to have 4 in the middle and an inch off of each side. So you make it 6 by 6, scored at an inch, and then that makes your cover. All I did with this one was I made it 6 by 6, but then I scored it just a tad bit wider, and I'll show you that as well. Yeah, I know there are ways to do this where these flaps are not the same size. They're smaller. And I just think that if you're beginning to do one of these, this is the easiest, just the simplest way to do it, okay? Would pictures fit the same size lid? Allie, I'm not sure what you're asking me. Okay, well, let's just get started. Here's the easiest way I have come across of making these without racking your brain too much, because to me, I just like easy, right? So we are going to go ahead and take all 4 of these and score them 4 by 4. There's another way to do this, but I just think this would probably be the easiest way for you guys, okay? So go ahead and score all of these 4 by 4. I'm going to do that right along with you with my big scoreboard here. My 12 by 12. So I moved the camera up a little bit so I could hopefully get everything in here. I like easy too, Barbara. So let's just go ahead and score them all 4 by 4. So basically you're going to score at 4 and 8. Turn that 90 degrees and then score at 4 and 8. Now don't cut anything off just yet. Okay? I know it's hard to see with the white, but it just looks like a big tic-tac-toe. I'm going to do all 3 of them. So 4 and 8. Turn it 90 and do 4 and 8. And the last one. So you can come back and grab all your supplies and start back with me at the beginning and rewatch this anytime you need to, right? Oh, when you add pictures, it adds bulk the same size. Well, technically the bulk is going into the card and not spreading the card out, so it shouldn't affect the cover. But I get what you're saying. Just go ahead and do the card, the top of it, just slightly bigger. I'll try to give you a really clear idea of how to get that to be a little bit bigger. Now, you would think that you would just go ahead and shove this into your trimmer and cut this down by 1 inch so that we get 11 by 11. Okay? We actually don't want to do that, because if you cut off an inch here and an inch here, you're going to have big squares on this side and little squares on this side. So you have to make sure that you're taking the whole amount of the inch off of each side. Okay, so if we're going to take off an inch and make this 12 to an 11, we're going to take off 1/4 of an inch off of each side. So I'm going to try to fit my trimmer in here so I can show you exactly what I mean. All we're doing is taking off an extra 1/4 of an inch on each side. Right, I'm going to try to be as clear as I can possibly be. First layer is 12 by 12 scored. We're not going to do anything with this one. Set that one aside. Second layer is going to be 11, which means each side of this is we're going to remove 1/4 of an inch. So there I can see it's at 12 inches. We're going to take off an inch, but we have 4 sides. So 1 inch divided by 4 is 1/4. So we're going to slide this down by 1/4 of an inch and cut. We're going to turn it 90 degrees. It's at 12, so we're going to move it down 1/4 of an inch and cut. And do our third turn, and we're going to look at where we're at. We've already done 1/4 of an inch, so we're only going to slide this over 1/4 of an inch and cut, and then do our last turn. You always want to look and see where you're at on this side. All right, so if I'm at 11 3/4, I'm going to go ahead and do 1/4. 1/4 down. Let's bring this in and see where we're at. We are at 11.5 by 11.5. Let's pull in our top one. So I only went a quarter, oops. I only went 1/4 of an inch in. That's a little, what, is it about what I did, or did I do 1/2 inch before? I did 1/2 inch before. So it's totally up to you. If you want to cut off another 1/4 of an inch and go 1/2 inch, and you can. You don't have to. I think I will, just so that it looks like the other one. So I miscalculated my cutting. Sorry about that, you guys. Let's go ahead and cut off one more 1/4 of an inch. So go in by another 1/4 and chop that off and do it on all 3 sides. It's not going to hurt it if you get off by 1/4 and you want a little bit smaller or a little bit bigger. It's not going to hurt it, because the center, as long as you've cut the same exact amount off of each side, it will work out beautifully. So I should have one more side to go. Make sure that you remember all your sides. Now I should be at 11. So when I bring this back in, I should be at 11 by 11. Let's check it out. There we go. 11 by 11. Hard for you guys to see. 11 up here and 11 down here. Perfect. So the very last one that we have here, we went in by a 1/2 inch last time. So let's do a whole inch this time. If I line it up here, I'm at 12 inches. So I'm literally going to go in 1 inch. 1 inch on every side. Check where you're at and go in by 1 inch. Only do the 4 sides. Go in by 1 inch, so we should be ending up at 10 at this point. And one more side. And this one should also end up at 10. So here I'm at 11, I'm going back 1 inch. And I get a 10 by 10. So let's bring that back out. $10 by 10. So there's my 10, there's my 10. Now if I pile these guys up, let's get this out of the way. I should get 3 layers that sit on top of each other. 1, 2, 3. One is the big, and because we cut it off the edge, all of the score marks should land exactly the same on each one. And I'm going to show you. I'm just going to go ahead and bend these over and let you guys see that, because there's some other little tips and tricks I want to show you along the way. This is just it. Literally, when you figure out how to make cards like this, the base part, the part we're making right now, is just it's so simple. It's just the amount. It's the amount of how much embellishing do you want to do after the fact? How much cool stuff do you want to add? Hey Beth, crummy weekend, huh? Raining and stuff. That sucks. We've had our share of rain here too. I'll tell you what. I'm done with it. We had a gorgeous day today, and I didn't even really get out in it, to be honest. Okay. There's the one. And if you look, those are all on the same axis. Check it out. And you didn't have to measure it and figure out 1/3 of what's 1/3 of 10, what's 1/3 of 11, that kind of stuff. And you have it all ready to go. Your box card is ready to fly. Now, we're going to get into 8:15 Saturday here in Brisbane. Hey, Marcel, thanks for joining us. Gosh, it's so fun to have you guys from all over the place. I entitled this video Easy Explosion Box DIY with options for layer embellishments. A lot of the videos that I searched for ideas and for different ways to create it and how could I make this simplified for you guys, didn't really give a lot of ideas of what to do once you got the base card done. This is the base card. We're done with it. We have 3 sheets of paper, one cut at 12, one cut at 11 by 11, and one cut at 10 by 10. And all we did before we cut it down was just pre-score it all at 4 by 4 by 4, 4 and 8, 4 and 8, 4 and 8. And that's it. It's super simple. That's all you have to remember. The rest of it is just how exotic do you want to be with this, right? Do you want to, if you wanted to, you can make the card out of just one layer. You can make one card, boom, just like that. Okay? You can layer this up. And I won't be able to show it to you, but I mean, you can layer this up and put a cover on it, and that would be the end of it. You could do it with 2 layers, and that would be the end of it. You can do it with all 3. You can make 4, 5, 6 layers, whatever. There's some really cool videos out there, and I'm thinking about redoing one that I saw to show you how to make a box like this that once you pop it open, more boxes just keep pulling out. It was fantastic. I would love to make that simplified so that you guys could follow along with me sometime. That would be super cool. So give me some thumbs up and some hearts in the chat if you think that just getting this base card done would be simple enough for you that you could get to this point, that this was easy. I know there's a little lag, so I'm going to take a drink and let you guys... We have until about 5:45 before I sign off to do the patron-only sale over in the patron private group. But we're going to spend the rest of the time playing around with what can we do with this box. And I'm going to start out... after I see, are you feeling like this is super easy? And then I'm going to show you some different things that we can do with this. I'm going to start with the cover. So I'm going to pull out some, I'm just going to pull out some papers from, I decided I would do the old world stack this time around. So let me just go ahead and pick out like a couple of these sheets. How about this one? And we will make some covers. So let's say I'm going to do all three sheets were 12 by 12 and scored at 4 and 8 and 4 and 8. And then all we did was we cut a 1/2 inch all the way around one and 1 inch off of the smaller one. That's it. And then because we scored it ahead of time and we cut all the way around, all of our score marks are still in the middle exactly where they are. Okay? Excuse me. So let's go ahead and try to make the cover for the center of this one. I'm going to show you 3 different covers because I think this will really clarify it. The center of this one, of course, because we did 4 and 8, is going to be 4 by 4. So you need something that's going to be 6 by 6. I happen to have 8 by 8, so I'm going to cut this down, 6 by 6. You want an extra inch. So this is my 4 by 4, right? I have an extra inch on each side, so it's 4, 5, 6. Now, if you want it to be a little bit bigger, then you're going to want to score it a little bit wider. If you want this part to be longer, then you're going to want to add it on. Like I could do a cover with this whole piece 8 by 8, right? But I'm going to want to score it a little bit bigger in the center. I'm going to want to get it to 4. So 4, I'm going to score it at 4. I'm going to show you how to do that real quick right now, because I can tell that I'm just getting you all confused. So this is 8 by 8. I want the center to be 4 by 4. So I'm going to take off 4 around the edges to make sure I have 4 left. All right. So what I'm going to do is I want mine to be a little bit bigger like this one was. I don't want it to be super duper tight. So instead of going to, okay, 4, I got that wrong. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65, 66, 67, 68, 69, 70, 71, 72, 73, 74, 75, 76, 77, 78, 79, 80, 81, 82, 83, 84, 85, 86, 87, 88, 89, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, 98, 99, 100, 101, 102, 103, 104, 105, 106, 107, 108, 109, 110, 111, 112, 113, 114, 115, 116, 117, 118, 119, 120 4, this is 8 by 8, right? 4 by 8. So 4 by 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. We have 2 extra inches, not 4, my bad. Okay, so we're going to go to 2. 2 inches on each side. What I'm going to do is go to the 2, but then I'm going to move over a little bit larger to the 1/8 mark right before. So basically it's 1 7/8, but I don't want to confuse you. So for those of you guys who have hard times with measurements, it's 2 and it's the one right next to it. On the outside, you want to make it a little bit bigger, right? So instead of doing the 2, you're going to do 1 7/8. And we're just going to do a 90-degree angle and do 1 7/8 again. This should make the box just slightly bigger to give you a little bit of room, wiggle room. 1 7/8. Even I get confused sometimes, guys, so you just gotta give it a try. So if I go ahead and fold up all these lines here, I'll show you how we put this together. It's super easy. You're just gonna take these little squares on the end and you're just gonna cut in on one side of that square. Turn and do the same thing on this side. Turn and then cut in on this side. Same thing on all 4 sides. Just make sure you're only cutting each corner one time. And then you're just going to put your glue right on the tab. I use the wet glue only because I think it holds stronger in the end. But you can go ahead and use your tear and tape. You can use your ATG, whatever you want to use. If for some reason your paper gets a little bit higher here, at the very end you can just snip off those odd layers. If this is something that you really like and you'd like to see this like brought into kind of a series and you want to see more ways to embellish the inside of these cards, give me a thumbs up. Send me a Facebook private message. Let me know what you're looking for. Because I think there's just way too much for me to like show you in a 45-minute video. A lot of different tips and tricks you can use in mini albums also pertain to explosion boxes because they are kind of a mini album in 3D, you know? So I heard from one person about weather today. Is there anybody else who is here tonight that works in the school district like me who has summers off now? Oh, I love the thumbs up, you guys. Thank you so much. Ooh, heart. Mwah. Okay, so that's a bigger, longer top. Let's go ahead and see if that will fit. And I'm going to use my other box here that we have. So basically what we have is this layer, this large layer on the bottom. I'm glad I didn't glue that together because it makes this thing a lot easier to show you guys. So we're just going to go ahead and put it right over the top and check that out. We've got a lot of extra room. It slides right on there. The sides are a lot longer, right? And it's very easy to slip on and off. Now, if you want yours to be tighter like that other one, then you just go ahead and do your 4 by 4, add on an inch, so do 6 by 6, and then score at exactly 2 by 2, and you'll get a really snug one like that where it won't fall off, and it's not wiggly. Okay? So totally up to you what kind of lid you want, how wide you want it. Give me a thumbs up if you like that. Ah, retired teacher. I can't wait to be a retiree. I'm just happy to be doing what I love right now. You guys have no idea. Like, my dreams are coming true. It is amazing. It's a super great feeling to know that I'm going to be working mostly from home, doing all this fun stuff, sharing things with you. So let's move on. Like, does that crystal clear? Do you think you could give me some hearts and stuff if you think that you could make covers for the next 2 layers just by figuring out the boxes? I mean, it's exactly the same, right? Because this is a 4 by 4 and this is a 4 by 4. Exactly the same. Does anybody want me to go over how you would make a cover for the next 3 layers? It should be exactly the same because every single one of our layers ended up to be 4 by 4. Carolyn Miller, this is what I said I wanted to spend time doing when I retire. That's awesome. So you're doing it, right? You're creating. Okay, while I'm waiting for some hearts and thumbs ups to see if anybody needs me to do one more cover, I'd be happy to do that. Otherwise, I'm going to pull out some paper and move on. I'm going to cut down a 4 by 4 sheet of paper. Okay, so 4 by 4. Thanks, Rosie. Because that's what these are. These squares are 4 by 4. And I've seen people that have done hearts. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to create like my heart. So put it on there and they draw them out. So let's say, you know, it's going to come from around there. It's going to come around here. I mean, I don't know how great I'm going to do this, how great this is going to turn out exactly, but you can find your own heart somewhere and like drag it out and see how you like it. That looks pretty good. I'm going to go with that. And then just go ahead and cut it out. And I'm going to curve this one around a little bit wider so it looks a little bit more even on that side. That looks pretty good to me. So what I'm going to do is put this in the corner, line up those lines. Put my heart in there. I just wanted to make sure that you guys knew how to make the lids and that was super clear to you. Because if you know how to make one lid, you can take that idea and you can make lids for any size boxes or explosion boxes that you want. It'd be super easy. Hi, Sherry. Welcome. Does that make sense, Tarita? I mean, you certainly could make covers for each one. I think that would be kind of an interesting idea. But I'm not going to do that tonight, because I don't have enough time to finish everything up with you then. I think that we can extend this series if this is something that you like, so I can show you more of what you can do on the inside of it. So now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and cut out these little hearts. I think maybe I'll just do one. What do we got? We're at 5:30 already. Okay. And then for this one, I'm going to show you how to make that pocket. So we're going to go ahead and just cut one edge of this corner. So that's the heart corner. I'm going to show you in just a minute how to finish that. But this one is going to be the fold over pocket. So you just go ahead and cut out your little divot, or you can put your paper on first and then cut out the divot so it's all cut together. And then you're just going to take some glue. Where did I put that little glue bottle? There he is. Yeah, for sure. Like, I didn't make my first explosion box without first watching a video more than once. And I'm just putting a little bit of glue on each side. Just the side and the bottom. Okay? Because then it'll leave a pocket here. Let me go ahead and push that down. Okay, so we've got a heart on this side. I've got a pocket on this side. Maybe this side will be one that I just want to be hanging free, like nothing, or maybe a half pocket. So we'll go ahead and cut this side down. let's say I just want a half pocket. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down by half. You know what? I'm going to get a scissors. So you guys can use shape scissors for this too. This would be super fun. I mean, these could be done really quick or they could take like days. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go ahead and cut this one straight across in the little wavy pattern that I have. I think I didn't quite go down far enough, but that's okay. So this one I'm going to swing over and make like a half of a pocket. Same thing, I'm just going to put a little glue on one edge. I can't believe how fast the time is going, you guys. I feel like this was a 10-minute card. Alright, so there's a little halfsy pocket for you. If you're going to cut off any of these pieces, save them. Like I've got some saved from my old one. This would actually fit in this pocket right here. Totally just fit in there. Let's do a post-it note. Let's do a bright post-it note here. If I put that on here, it's almost the same size. You can see better that it's going in that little pocket, right? Now, these sides are obviously going to come up. Let's go ahead and just cut out this heart one. We could do so much fun stuff with this, you guys. Definitely, we're going to have to make this a series. This is super fun. I'm just going to finish this one off because then I can show you how to adapt those hearts so that they come into. Because that might be kind of confusing. For me, at first it was too. I was like, how do they make the hearts like fold in and stuff? Like, my brain does not understand origami very well. Yes, Glenda, how cool. I will do a series. Okay, so in order for these to come in, they have to like be folded towards the inside so that they make a crease on the heart, okay? So when you're folding these two in, you want to tuck your heart in and then push it so that your edges come together, and then you can grab that heart in between here and you can fold that up to the top. Like you can tell mine aren't exact and don't match the hearts. So if you want to fold yours in first while it's still a square and make sure your heart is exactly the same on both sides, that's fine. But like now my hearts will fold in and my sides will come up and I'll be able to get that cap on. Hey Donna. Right? So there we go. That cap's going to hold everything in. Now, this one's a little bit shorter of a cap, and the hearts push out a little bit more. Okay? So if we wanted to, we could use that tighter cap. This is why I don't like the super tight cap, just because I feel like it makes it look like a struggle. It's not really, it's just that you have to make sure you get everything in there. That tighter cap is going to hold those pieces in better. Do you see that? It held those, the heart sides better. So, you know, it's like, how do you like yours? Everyone's got their own preference, right? I would say this is probably like 65 pound, which is fine. I don't know that if you want to go up a little bit higher than that, it might be a little bit more difficult. Stick with something that's around 65 pound and then embellish it, and that'll make it thicker and sturdier. Does that make sense? That's my preference. That's my experience. Other people might say something different. I don't have any like super heavy duty, bigger paper like 12 by 12, so I'm going to guess this is 65. That was a really good question, by the way. I didn't think to mention that. All right, how much time we have? About 10 minutes. Okay, so we've got a full pocket. We've got a half pocket. We've got hearts. Now with these two that we have left here, we can add like other things that we want. Like some people, like I've seen add, literally add their own made up like pad of paper. I'm just going to use my, what do you call them? So you can add these in, right? We haven't even started to embellish yet, you guys. This is like just, right? Oh, a heavy cardstock on the outside decoration will make them straighter. Yes. Yes, Barbara. So use what you have. Like, I don't have 12 by 12 paper that's heavier than this. I can't imagine why you couldn't get any of it that way, but so some people have done this with different colors too, which is really cool. You don't have to use sticky notes. You can make your own. So like, let's say this was a regular piece of paper. I would just glue that down. Let me move this one down. I would like glue that down at the top. And then I would take my next color. I know I got a couple colors here. I would take my next color and I would glue that over the top of that. So you can still use the one underneath. Catch what I'm saying. And then your last color you would glue on the top, on the tippy top here. And then you would embellish that, but then they've got a place where they can do notes, or you can just use sticky notes and they can just peel them off and use them, depending on what colors you have and what kind of color scheme you're going with. Barbara Eastock says use panels. That's what I did with the other one. Ooh. So let me pull out the one that I did before. So those are some quick ideas. We'll go ahead and in the series and we'll continue on with these other layers. We've got a lot of stuff that we could work with. And I want to add in some more stuff that, like what Barbara's talking about. So here is the one that I originally did. I folded all my first layer over and I used the second layer pieces that I cut out to create my inserts so that I didn't have to recut again. That's what these are. I talked about that in the very beginning. So I've got one of those in each one. You could put pictures on there, you could put notes, you could stamp on them, whatever you wanted to do. And then I used a cardstock, a 6x6. It's a pretty thick cardstock of this wood pattern. And the second one I just cut off completely and I just put the wood pattern down. I haven't embellished it all yet. I've just used my pieces to create the panels. Then the next one I did for the very inside here is that I used just a plain brown with a little bit of texture. I have some wood under here, and then I made this little cover or half box and I glued that down into the middle so that I could put something on top. Like I can make a smaller box and a smaller box and I can make a little cake inside. You've seen those, right? So that's super easy to do. Next time we come in, I can show you how to make these boxes in layered forms so that we can create our own little cake on the inside. So you could do a wedding, anniversary, birthday, that kind of thing. That would be super fun. You can decorate it in any kind of colors you want. So your scheme could be for babies, it could be for weddings, it could be birthdays, it could be I'm missing you or just for you. But just remember that these are best, hand given. Only because, I mean, for one thing, I like to see the look on their face when they open it, and they're just like, "Whoa, that's so cool!" Because it's just gonna pop open. I'd like to do the series on one where you make them smaller, the base is smaller, so that when you pop open the cover, it actually does this instead. But here's the thing: they can't be the same size, so the 4x4 can't fit there. It's gotta fit within this boundary, and so you'd have to go ahead and figure out like how wide could that be, like 2.5 by 2.5 maybe, that kind of a thing. And so in the series I'd like to get into that with you guys if you guys want to know. And then the one, maybe the piece de la resistance, we would do the one where you open up the covers and then you pull it up and the boxes just keep coming out. That would be my ultimate goal. I think you guys would just be like, what? And it's so easy to make. I mean, it takes time, but it's not hard. It's not difficult. Just like these. These are not difficult. It's just, this is the kind of thing you want to do on a rainy afternoon or a rainy weekend where you're like, man, I could just sit here all day and I could pull out all this paper, this stack that I have, right? And I have all these extra pieces that I cut. So I could continue to embellish this. I could take some of these and be like, oh, you know what? Maybe I want a piece of that in there. Maybe I want a little bit. Maybe I want like a flippy flap. Maybe I want to add some magnets, right? Here's another idea. Maybe I want to add just a couple of things that go across with other tags that stick in there. I'm going to get into doing some DIY embellishments with you guys. Small, you know, the embellishments that you can stick on here that when you close it up, you're still going to have a little bit of room here. So it doesn't have to be completely flat all the time. Then some of the things, we'll do some bead bags that go on here that we cover up, that you can have like little shakers in there, okay? There's going to be some where you can use some of these ideas that we've done in the past. You know, I always say you have reasons to use these. Cut these down and put them in here. Wouldn't that be gorgeous? That would just be stunning in there with that gold. I just love that idea. I've got tons of stuff that I've used with you guys in the past. Here's the cardstock that I was using. I don't have any more of it. It's called Wood by MME. MME, what is that one? My Mind's Eye. And so here's a bunch of the paper that I have left over. So there's tons of ideas and things that we could still do together to embellish this one. Not only this one, but the other one as well, right? So yeah, this has really got me on fire for ideas and stuff. And I think this is going to be totally fun. Now, when I go through, and here's some more of the covers that we made. When I go through in the next few of the like series and the embellishment parts, the embellishments that we create on here, you can use across the spectrum. The embellishments could go on your cards, they could go on these, they could go on scrapbook pages, they can go on mini albums, mixed media, anything and everything you can think of, you'll be able to use across the board. So it won't just be a one-time like, well, I learned how to make this explosion box and now what? There's a lot in art that you can just take and just blow your mind, right? So I hope that you enjoyed this, that you're inspired, that you're just got excited and sparked to see the next things that are coming up, because I truly am. It's going to be super fun. We will not only do this one, but we will also add on to this. I'm going to take off all these bright things. We're going to continue on this card, and we're going to use this pack. We're going to use this Old World stack because I've never used it before, and it's got some really pretty papers in it. And it's not exactly my style, but it's kind of a mix between like a shabby chic versus kind of a mixed media. And I think that we can make some really cool flowers and things out of this. So we'll get some floral things coming up. It's going to be super fun. So make sure you join me for the next few Fridays so that we can get underway with that. And be looking ahead at around, let's see, July 4th. I may be gone for the Friday of the July 4th. That's like the day after. So I can go up north and help my sister with a few things. But yes, I'm super excited to be spending more time with you guys. So pull out all your supplies for next time, because now you know how to make the base. It's going to be really super easy. My reminder to you now for the sales that are coming up, if you are a patron and you are going to come to the patron only, you need to find us at the patron private group right now. The sale will go from 6 to 7. Okay? And if you are joining us for the public sale, that is tomorrow right here on the same channel from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're at all confused or people are asking you about it, tell them to go to qualitycrafts.com, and there are links to most of the things. Or the best thing to do is go to Facebook and join us in the community group on Facebook. It's Quality Crafts. We'd love to have you. We're commitment and drama free. You don't have to worry about doing anything to remain in the group. It's for your inspiration. I disseminate a lot of information about our community events there. Cancellations and sales invoices and things will all be sent there, so make sure you join us. If there's any questions, private message me, private message Penny. Put a message just right out on the community group. Our fabulous, friendly, qualified community members will be glad to help you with anything that you need, because I can't wait to see you guys next video.